Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Repearon, and today we're going to be doing a video on Deep Rock Galactic. This is going to be a guide on how to farm machine events more efficiently, and what I think the best way of getting the machine events is. I've been asked this plenty of times while I've been streaming, as well as whenever I do an overclock video. There's usually somebody saying that they have an excessive amount of blank cores, and they just don't find very many machine events. So let's start out by explaining how the machine events spawn into each mission. So machine events, as well as other events like the data deposit or even a Crassus detonator, will spawn before the mission actually renders in. So they will be the first object rendered. You can usually tell this because the data deposits or the machine events spawn in a wide open area, and there tends to be a lot of materials spawning around them. Usually the events are fairly clear, although I have had some missions where they haven't been. They've been covered in snow, or they've been stuck in a wall partially, or something like that. That can happen, but it's fairly rare for it to happen, and machine events will never just be stuck in a location where you can't get to, or at least that you can't access by just walking through the tunnels. So they're not just going to be hidden in the wall somewhere, and you just got to get lucky if you drill to them or something like that. Machine events are also not determined by which difficulty you're playing on. So playing on higher difficulties doesn't give you a higher chance of getting these machine events. Neither does playing on lower difficulties give you a less chance of finding these events. So if you are just trying to farm these machine events, I would recommend playing on a lower difficulty, probably between Hazard 1 and Hazard 3. That way it's just easiest to find this. The mission type that I'd recommend you go on most frequently if you are looking for machine events is point extracts. These are generally the most wide open areas out of any of the missions, and it will be the easiest to navigate these. So for making this video, I went on 15 separate missions. I went on 5 of these on Hazard 5, 5 of them on Hazard 3, and then 5 of them on Hazard 2. Throughout this, I ended up only getting 2 machine events. These were both on Hazard 2, I believe. I got a Ebonite Mutator, which is a melee only challenge. And if you're playing somebody like Driller, you have a big advantage because your drills and your throwing axes both count as melee, so you can deal with them very easily, as well as if you take the perk Berserker, you can deal with this event very quickly. The other event that I got was the Tritolite Deposit, which this one is probably the easiest event out of all of them because it's just take the explosives to the Tritolite. This again is easiest with Driller because you can drill a straight path to it. So as long as you don't get bad RNG and have the bomb spawn in a really bad spot, this one is usually the easiest. The most difficult out of the events is definitely the Omen Tower, as it can kill you very easily, but if you're playing on the lower difficulties, it should be much easier for you to deal with them. There's a couple ways that you can get around fighting the Omen Tower: digging trenches as Driller, or putting platforms from the Engineer above the platforms that you have to stand on to get the machine events working will make the event a little bit easier. I would also recommend that you play Scout class if you're playing this solo, or if you're playing this with friends and you're trying to get machine events to spawn more quickly. Just go into a point extract mission, grapple hook around as much as possible, look for any events, and if there isn't any events, then abort the mission and come back, or go on a different point extract and look for them there. This way you can actually get through the maps pretty quick. When I was doing this solo, I was using Special Powder, which did help with my mobility a little bit, but on average it was taking me about a minute and 20 seconds to about a minute and 40 seconds to actually search the map and then determine whether or not there was an event machine or not. This is also a great way to look for helmets and cargo crates too, because they have a chance of spawning here. So if you would like some of the frameworks, or if you'd like some of the pickaxe parts, you can do this by farming these events too. If you are looking for helmets, then I would probably recommend somebody on your team be Driller, just so that you can more easily get to them. Anytime that you unlock any of these, whether they be pickaxe parts, weapon skins, weapon frameworks, or overclocks, they will be tied to your account, so you can immediately leave the mission. If you abort the mission, then you will get to keep whatever prizes that you got throughout the mission. One thing to note is when you put in a blank matrix core into one of the machine events and you decide that you don't want any of the 3 options that they give you and decide to leave, you will still be spending that matrix core, because it will just give you one of those 3 at random. This is whether you quit out of the game, whether you abort the mission, or whether you complete the mission and simply don't choose any of them, you will still get one of those 3 random rewards. So in that case, I would recommend picking a weapon overclock, even if it's not for the class that you prefer playing. This way, at least you can build up the weapon overclocks, because I find those to be far more valuable than the cosmetic overclocks. So that'll do it for this video. Hopefully that kind of helped you out. Thanks everybody for watching this. I really do appreciate it. And special thanks to the supporters of this channel. These are my members over here on YouTube and my patrons over on Patreon. They get early access to videos like this. And if you would like to be a part of it, you can. There are links down in the description. Thanks everybody for doing that. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye!